Hey, it's your girl KB back with another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Whoo, child, y'all, I had a long weekend. I was just busy. I need to wash my hair. It's been a long weekend. I'm tired. My little bun over here a little sleepy, but it'll be okay. This episode, season 10, episode 3, what was it? Marvelous, the favorite, or something like that. This is the takedown of Reese episode, and I am so here for it because he needs to be humbled. This man truly thinks that he is perfection personified. He really thinks that he could do no wrong. This man got a DUI. He got a DUI. And because he was able to get it thrown out on some technicality, he now feels it is okay to mock children for laughing at him. I'm sorry, I will never get past that. Oh, did your friends make jokes when the charges were dropped? So you are a grown-ass man. You should be ashamed. Regardless if you got charged or not, you're a lawyer. I expect you to have friends. If you're any type of decent lawyer, I would expect for you to get it thrown out. If it was something as simple as a DUI, you ain't hurt nobody. So you try to act like that negates any wrongdoing on your part. That's just not how that works. So needless to say, I liked the episode. A lot of people felt like, oh, they're deflecting from their relationship problems. Oh, they're not talking about the Martell interview and oh, this and that and the third. Yeah, but hey, rather something than nothing. And this is something that needs to happen. This ain't like, bring it Ariana. Like, that'll happen when it happens. Nobody's anticipating that. But the takedown of Reese, people all trying to explain to him, hey, babes, you're not as good of a person as you think you are. In a nutshell. Not saying that you're a terrible, despicable, horrible person, but you are not as good of a person and dad as you think you are. Some will even go to say you are a horrible husband and dad. But hey, opinions. Everybody's got one. But we're going to get to that. This episode starts with the crazies. I truly don't know what to call them but the crazies. Because they all got real issues. So severe for this situation that they're in. So we left off with Marquez over there at Ken and Trisha's house, and she's got her friend. What's her friend? Sharon or something? She's got her friend there as well. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all heard on the last episode, when Ken gets up and he pointing at that paper all hard, you see it right there? It's right there. You can hear the friend like, Ken. She get nervous. She don't have time for nothing. She's like, I don't need to be getting subpoenaed in nobody's courtroom to testify. Because that's what my mind would have went to. I don't have time for this. But Ken and Marquez are full-blown arguing. You gonna get out, or you gonna get put out, or da-da-da, whatever Ken is saying. And of course, Trisha is eating it up. She loves to incite Marquez, and then once that, no, not even incite. She loves to antagonize Marquez, which incites Ken to scream on him while she runs behind Ken, is like, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. Like, she might as well be back there like, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. I stick my big monster on you. Like, that's what Trisha gives me. It's so childish, and she truly gets off on Ken having to come at Marquez, right? So apparently they got the fisticuffs. They got some real deal tussling up in there. And you can kind of tell from how the scene is, because we know that he was slamming the paper in his face, and Marquez was like, who y'all on one. Like, you can see him getting there because Ken all in his face and jumped up across the room to hop in his face about these papers. And I could imagine Marquez struck off a reflex, just being like, trying to mush Ken. But Ken like twice his size. Ken is like twice his size. So Ken probably balled that man up and threw him out the door. Uncle Phil sound like Jazzy Jeff said. I feel like he literally like balled him up. I don't think he punched him. It don't seem like it came to like a hitting type of deal. And even Trisha later on, we hear her say tussling. And from the way it sounded and from the way we see Marquez walk off and how it don't seem like a punch necessarily happened. But it seemed like he might have choked that nigga, hammed that nigga, balled that man up. In my head, he did the Caesar and what's that boy, and Puma. Did y'all used to watch Black Ink? Y'all used to watch Black Ink New York back in the day? Caesar was the head dude, and one of his tattoo artists' name was Puma. It was always a fight on that show. That show, if you want to watch some black folk fighting, watch that. I probably need to go back and rewatch that. That was some good ratchet TV. But Puma was there at the party. It was like a party. They got wings and stuff. They get to arguing. Caesar and Puma get to arguing, and Puma like, F your shop. And he take the wing and drop it on the floor right in front of Caesar. Caesar grabbed this man, picked him up, and bah! Like in one fell swoop. Like if you blinked, you would have missed it. If you blinked, you would have missed it. That's what I imagine Ken did to Marquez. Marquez probably tried to push him, and Ken picked him up and blocked himself on down. Marquez get on up. He mad now. He throwing lamps and carrying on, smashing lamps off the ground. And I feel like I said that last episode that like the way he throwing furniture and rearranging furniture, it's giving we hear. It's giving something's happening. It's giving something's happening. Hold up. So these fools is down here going crazy. In true fashion, Xavier, the 19-year-old son, has to come and break things up. And I'm like, see, this is where Marquez has a point why y'all always trying to paint him out to be crazy. The kids are traumatized. This is going on downstairs. Is Zaria upstairs too? I'm sure Zaria was upstairs too. So she got to hear all of this going on. These kids don't even film. These kids don't even film, y'all. Love and Marriage Huntsville ain't even a show where the kids film or the kids really... We would see Melody Kids when she did the tennis stand with the daughter. I remember that being a moment. But outside of that, so the only time we see Xavier is when he got to get his daddy together. Yes, that absolutely traumatizes the children. And this is all three of y'all. Marquez, you're not excluded from the traumatization of these children, okay? So, yes, y'all, that was the foolery. And they in the confessional. And he was like, you told me so. You told me so. I told you so. I told you so. You try to talk to him and da-da-da-da. I said, she truly gets off on it. And Ken is such a fool. He lets her send him out every single time without fail. Like, never does he give pushback on, no, maybe we should do this. Okay, the next thing gets into the meat of the episode. Kimmy, we see Kimmy. She is so excited. She's so excited for date night, y'all. She's excited for date night with Reese. I said, oh, what they finna do? Okay, cool. What's about to happen? They finna do some painting, like the way she's like, date night, date night, date night. I'm thinking a wine tasting, something, some cigar, something. Not a roast. Not a roast, but it was. So she's so excited about date night, y'all. And she grabbed some blankets and some tea. And I hate that I agreed to the misogynist for just this millisecond, but he was like, you ain't made no dinner? Ain't no catered food or something? Okay, we just got some tea. Okay. All right, pass the tea. Oh, okay, date night. So she's like, all right, let's get to it. she's been over to Jalen's house. She's been hanging out with him more. That's her bestie now that he's graduated. They've gotten a lot closer. And that's usually how it goes. Like once you get on the other side of college or you get a certain type of grown and you realize, my mama wasn't just nagging. She was saying some important things, right? So there he's like, okay, cool. She was like, yeah, I talked to him about the family business. They don't say what type of business it is. I don't know if it's the restaurant or if it's something else. They don't say, but the four of them, both of their children and them two as adults, want to go in. Well, they want it to be a family thing. Both of the kids said they straight. Jalen and Reese Jr. is cool on that, okay? And I started screaming. She tells him, he was like, where? They just don't want to work. He says they don't want to work or something along those lines. Always trying to be dismissive or act like other people don't have his work ethic and his integrity and his tenacity. Like, he's so extra. And she's like, no. You know how Kimmy did that? No, I think it's more so, you work little and you talk a lot. I said, dang. So everybody really agrees that Reese don't work hard. He don't work hard and he really don't work at all. He just delegates and tells everybody else what to do. I said, I can believe it because we don't see nobody trying to partner with him. As misogynistic as Marcel may present himself sometimes, he is absolutely the more likable character, the one that seems to be more grounded and level-headed, even though there is some foolery in him as well. So she doesn't stop there with telling him that the kids don't want to do business. Stab, you got a twist. She goes a little further and says, I was talking to Jalen and he said, he really doesn't see you as a father figure. Yeah, he sees you as more like homie, mentor, and he actually sees Marcel as more of a father figure. He acting hurt. He in the confessional, like, I'm sure it was a gut punch. He said it was a gut punch. I'm sure, but not for the right reasons. Any logical, well-meaning, caring adult would be like, genuinely be like, oh, dang, where did I mess up and how can I make it better? And what was it that he expected? And, really dig into the bottom of it. Reese will present that as a logical, I'm a lawyer type of person. But when he goes into what his take or his stance is, he goes to try to convince you that you're wrong. And he's right. Whatever he did was the right thing to do. So you just have to adjust. Is the tone and the words that he gives off. So like I said, he's getting more jealous that somebody prefers his brother over him. He definitely has that hierarchy mentality where he feels like he's a lawyer. So like, he's so above these guys sometimes. And he just can't play these kid games because I have to go give my Martin Luther King speeches and go do my lawyer things. Like that's what he is. And I'm just like, okay. So yeah, that just truly cracked me up. Because I said, not that we calling this date night for you to roast him. Tell him he's a shit father and a kiss want nothing to do with you. I really wonder what kind of relationship the boys have with each other. Like, do Monster and Reese Jr. like text? Are they calling each other? Is Reese Jr. hitting Jalen up like, man, remember when he used to say this and that to you? He trying to do that to me. But then again, I don't even think he do, because Kimmy has already complained many times over that Reese don't tell his son to do nothing. He leave it up to Kimmy. Kimmy expressed that before that boy came to even move with him. She said, you're hands off and you don't like to do stuff or at least tell the children to do stuff. So now it's just me reinforcing this with your child. And I don't want to feel like I'm overstepping. And he don't care about none of that. He was just like, make it work. Sucks to be you. Love it for me. Like, he truly does not care. Next, we see the Fletchers, right? They are having wings and wraps. I said, wow, my favorite meal. And they know that. You know, you know. So Nell and her mentor, Lord, she swears she is a mentor to everybody. She says that she has mentored Destiny so much, and she just can't believe that Destiny got the nerve to feel a way towards her. So they're talking about how Destiny was mad last season that Nell was planning on inviting Sunny around to some party. Well, if you know, decide to try to befriend my op, you looking like an op yourself. And this is a situation where it's one thing to be cordial because she's on the show or whatever, but going out of your way to invite her to your personal events and stuff when you know this my op. this because I don't care what y'all say, Sunny was wrong. If you had any type of relationship with me, to go and scoop up and marry my ex and then be talking down on me and come get on this show simply just to taunt me, we got problems. We got problems because you weren't interested. They weren't interested in getting on that show damn bit before it was time to rub it in Destiny's face that they was married. So yeah, if you going out your way to befriend my op, I do have to reevaluate where we stand. Cause you must not mean me no good. None. So yes, Nell is mad that Destiny was feeling away about the whole Sunny situation. And then she also mentions, well, it could be the whole Lance thing, you know, the whole Lance having a baby thing. And she asks her, should she approach it? She plans to. So next up, we see the girls go out for dinner. Kimmy has called everybody to invite them out. She said everybody could make it except for Destiny. She said she out in these TikTok streets. I didn't really know what she meant by that, but I was just like, okay, whatever. Maybe she's doing a live selling candles or something. I don't know. Madani, yeah. Maybe she's doing a Madani live. So she also says in this introduction of this event that she wants to get to know Trisha and Nell better because she really don't know them. Even though they filmed a whole season together last year, y'all. I said, well, I guess it wasn't necessary to really get to know them for storyline's sake because y'all all had a common enemy, Mel. So y'all would just team up to talk about Mel and not yourselves. So lame. So now she's saying like, okay, let's get the chance to really know these people. Trisha and her storytelling, y'all. She gets to telling them about how things happen when Marquez, you know, came over there to talk, walking all up in the house without knocking, papers, this and that, tussling, yada yada. And she does say, yeah, they got to tussling. The way she tells the story is as if Ken and Trisha have no fault. It was all Marquez. He came in on 10. He was acting crazy the whole time. Y'all were just trying to give him logic and he wasn't having it. I'm like, let's not forget Ken is the one that jumped up and jumped in his face. Not saying that Marquez isn't annoying and don't incense people with his ignorance and the way he be playing, because he not as stupid as he try to act like. But all of what Ken was doing it just wasn't necessary. It just wasn't necessary. So yeah, Marquez is a little crazy, but Trisha, you and Ken are as well. Share your faults. Like I said, she lets them know Marquez was disrespectful and it got physical. They got to tussle. Everybody's like, now that's crazy. That's crazy. Next, Kimmy brings up Jalen and the Scott brothers and how Jalen said that he sees Reese as more of a homie / mentor, and he sees Marcel as a father figure. Tisha's like, this is how you know Tisha be lying and doing the most for nothing. Because when Kimmy first says it, Tisha's like, what? Why would he say that? It's given, why would he say that? Who said that? You know what I mean? But as she goes on, she's like, yeah, well, you know, maybe it's because they work together. He's worked with him on this. He's worked with him on that. And, you know, we always say that Jalen is his oldest son. So why was your reaction what it was when Kimmy said what she said? That's why I don't see she just be doing the most for no reason. Kimmy's like, well, Reese is just, you know, he's really hands-off when it comes to the kids. I mean, really hands-off. And it's like, we know, we see, he don't even raise his own child. He left that to you. It was like, what was the point in bringing that boy to Alabama if you wasn't going to be actively parenting him? just having Kimmy do it. And everybody already knew that's what it was going to be. They already knew that's what it was going to be. And that's why Kyla and Kimmy had, you know, their reservations. But hey, we are here now. We're here now. So a lot of people, some people mentioned, like, didn't Reese Jr. also mention that he prefers Kimmy, or he spend more time and talk with Kimmy as well? What a mess. She says that Jalen never really got comfortable with Maurice. In confessional, Tisha says that it's Jalen's responsibility to open up to Reese as well. Tisha, I feel you in a logical, at this point, they're both adults type of viewpoint. But the fact that he hasn't should deepen the fact that Reese was so not good to that boy in that house. You know what I mean? Not that he was bad, but it's already been discussed that he was bossing him around. We'll get there. But he was bossing him around and never really said nothing to the son. And he wasn't giving him no life lessons and stuff like that. You was just there. A figment just taking up space. Just here annoying me and my mama. And a lot of people brought up that Jalen said, because I forgot about this. Jalen said that the first time he ever saw his mama cry was because of Reese. Really? I said, what a hot mess and a half, Lord. So then what happens next? Oh, this is my thing about what Tisha said for as far as Jalen opening up to Reese. Even if kids aren't accepting of a step parent and aren't all loving and stuff, if the step parent is there and present, by the time that kid becomes an adult and gets to living and they see that that step parent was actually something good for me, even though I didn't like him because he wasn't my daddy telling me what to do, it made sense now that I'm an adult. Jalen hasn't even come to that. So that's what gives, like, Reese was extremely hands-off. Like everybody said, he was closer with Marcel. So Nell tells the girls that she left LA, the reunion, quick because Lance and that baby was on the way, so they had to leave. She claims that she didn't know that he was having a baby, but him and the girl been dealing with each other on and off for 5 years. But you know, Nell will just say anything too, so you never know when she's telling the truth or not. So Tisha's just like, because I'm going to put it on the table. I was side-eyeing you because I'm like, how you pushing him on Destiny knowing he got a baby on the way? And she's just like, pushing him on Destiny? I been knew that Destiny was a red flag and I ain't want them together. I said, right? That's what I remember. I remember her being like, I don't want this girl. I always thought it was because she had a child in a messy situation going on between the ex-husband and with Moses and Sonny. Because who would pick? And nothing. So, yeah. Next, Nell is like, well, I'm finna flip it. Let me flip it because I got questions about y'all. How y'all feel about that interview that Martell did with that alleged side chick that all the men allegedly shared in on? And Tisha gonna say, well, how do you feel, Nell? Nell was like, I thought it was messed up. Tisha was like, well, we did an Instagram live about it and we addressed it there. And that's the only place we're going to address it. So if you want to know how you felt, go watch the Instagram live. And she says that she's not going to let people create a story for her. I'm like, clearly you are, because the average viewer of this show is not going to go to your Instagram live and watch it. Say it here or it don't matter. And I get it. Most of the time they don't really talk about the things that happen off the show unless it got physical and it's something we have to see. Yeah, most of the time they don't really discuss the stuff that happens off the show. It'd be like two completely different entities, and when it gets brought up, half the population of watchers be like, when that happened? On the social, babes, on the social. So, the interview was, the girl, she kept mixing their names up. So some people felt like, this girl lying, like, this don't make no sense. But I'm like, she probably was smashing all of them. And she probably was smashing all of them. And then people were trying to act like, oh, because she looked the way she looked, that wouldn't be who they smashed. And then somebody was like, This is what she looked like at the time that Martell is claiming that this happened. And they show an old picture of her. And it's like, I could believe it. But even so, looks don't even be what people go after when they cheating. They going after convenience. They going after low self-esteem. They going after, you ain't gonna snitch on me because that ain't your style or you got something to lose. You know what I mean? So who cares about what somebody look like when you in these predicaments type deal, right? And it ain't like they just know Boris Kojo's them daggone selves. And so, like I said, it's not addressed on the show at all. And I can't remember who said it. Was it Tisha? Tisha was just kind of like, oh, I just was like, I don't know about them Fletchers. Because basically the Scott men feel away about Fletcher when he said, somebody came to him like, oh, you be getting the women to sign NDAs. And he gonna say, no, that sound like some Marceau and Maurice. And they, of course, was offended by that. Because, whoa, you ain't even have to bring my name up. Fletcher's so messy. Because what you saying my name for? Fletcher is made for TV. Fletcher is made for TV, baby. He is an old, messy ass man, okay? So we see Jalen and Reese go down to the pool hall to talk. This was, I was wondering, because we kept seeing the flashes of Jalen saying this in the conversations, but I'm like, is Jalen going to officially, like, we're going to show one of those things, or are we just going to see him as, wait, it wasn't flash sideways? Is that what Carlos King? Flash sideways? So, yes, we see these conversations where he's talking to Kimmy about it, but we finally see him talking directly to Reese at the pool hall. Jalen and his emotional intelligence, y'all. He doesn't want to set Reese off in one of his Martin Luther King speeches. So he's trying to be delicate and not incense him, okay? So they start off with some small talk. How you been? You've been applying for some tech jobs. How's that going? That boy thinking about moving to Colorado. I said he is so over this place in Alabama and all you fools that's in, okay? He ain't got time to be walking around and people asking him, your auntie did this, your mama did this, your brother. He ain't got time for it. He's like, I need to go somewhere where people might not know me. People might not know me, okay? Colorado it is. So he about to go to Colorado for, well, he's thinking about going to Colorado for a job. Reese is showing him that he's against it. You have to move to find yourself. You think the best thing for you is there. He's framing it as, I'm just asking questions, but within his tone and his countenance and just the things that he's saying, you can tell that he doesn't want that boy to leave. He's trying to get that boy to run his family business. I see how hard you over there working for Marceau. Why can't you come work for me this hard? Make me some money. You better stay away from Jalen. Terrible. Y'all, so after they talk about the job stuff, he asks him, how you feel about the family business stuff, Jalen? Jalen said, Jalen eyes got so bucked, they damn near crossed. He like, boy, ain't no damn way. How do we word this? Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. So after Jalen basically tells him that, no, I ain't really trying to do that. I got some hesitancies about that. It'll be different if we all got our hands in and we're working. But if it's going to be you at the top, being a dictator, delegating everything, you go pick up Monster. You take Monster here. You do this. You do this. I said, wait a minute. You had Jalen raising your kid before he was out the house, and then Kimmy had to... Jalen is fed up. Jalen was fed up in that house. Jalen had to be a parent and a big brother when he was technically neither. Technically neither. So then Jalen basically goes on to say, what did he say? Hold on. Reese always made Jalen get up to do stuff, get up to clean up, take out the trash, whatever. When his son was sitting right there too, he tries to make it seem like, oh, well, he was the oldest and you parent each child differently. And right now it looks like it worked. This man is literally telling you, you were shit father figure. You just weren't it. He went to your brother. He went to your brother. But you feel like it worked? He don't even see you as a father figure, but you think your parenting worked. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Do you think that I loved Monster more than I loved you? He your biological child, yes. What? And he does that whole thing that parents do sometimes. Well, you know, we're first time parents. We're trying to figure it out too. Yeah, but if even now I'm telling you that it's not working and you're arguing me with it, you're not learning. You're not trying to be better as a person, as a parent. So Jalen just lets him know, listen, I'm grateful for you being there for me. I learned how to change the toilet. I learned how to change the tire. I learned how to change things. I am handy because of you. Cool mentor type of guy. He doesn't call him the homie at this point. I said this is that emotional intelligence I'm telling you about. So, yes, Reese is still like, so now Jalen is trying to be like, well, it was me too. It was me too. I ain't really want to get close to you. And this is, I said, this is a twist, but I don't even think Reese caught it like he made it so gentle. Jalen was like, I chose not to get close with you in case y'all broke up. And this is, mind you now, it's still to this day he's not close with him. So still to this day you want your mama to leave him. So you're not going to start. Kimmy, are you not embarrassed? Are you embarrassed? Kimmy, are you not embarrassed? And for Kimmy to say that she knew Jalen felt like this and she saw it herself with that, you know, he was harder on Jalen than he was on Reese Jr. And you just proceeded? You just went along with it. You didn't even reach out to Reese to correct him, or you step in and you delegate. You didn't do anything. You just sat by and let it continue, sitting in the corner all meek and mild. Kimmy. Kimmy had so much promise. We really thought she was that boss chick, you know. She was a later in life marriage and she was already established, had a career. She's doing nursing, had her own house. Didn't Reese move in her house? And she seemed like she was no nonsense. Reese presented that he had some sense. And once Kimmy got cancer, Reese completely showed his ass. Reese showed his entire ass. And Kimmy is going through chemo and bending over backwards to feel sexy, to make herself want to have sex with this man because he's pressuring her to have sex. But let's not call it pressure because it's a wifely duty. Yep, that is when we saw that, oh, Reese is actually the real misogynist one. Marcel's a misogynist too, but he plays it up for the cameras. You can tell he plays it up for the cameras from when he had that talk with Marquez. He like, I might be a terrible husband, but my kids, that's why I draw the line. You can tell that's where Marcel was coming from. So yeah, y'all, Reese been exposed himself, and Jalen wants better for his mama. Okay. Next, we see Ken meet up with his friend Will, and Will is the real nigga friend. Will is the friend that's gonna tell you like a T.I. is. Okay, we met Will last season. He takes flesh with him. You know why not? Funners. So Ken gets to telling them the story again. You know, Ken and Trisha, they have their way of telling these stories to make them seem blameless. And Marquez seems like a crazy, raging, crazy nutcase basket toss man, right? So he walking all up in my house. And the friend like, well, maybe he was bringing the daughter in. Like, They kind of making sure the door come in, right? Like, he's just kind of like, I mean, I don't get it, but okay. And then he goes on to telling the story, and Ken is like, I feel like he's playing on my niceness. I'm trying to cater to his feelings, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do this for him and his feelings, and da-da-da. Fletcher was like, why? Why are you trying to cater to his feelings? You're not trying to marry him. You're not trying to marry him. So Ken gets all defensive. How you know I'm not trying to marry him? That's the kid's daddy. Even though he ain't around, I'ma still be married to him. That's why I'm trying to care. That's why I'm caring about his feelings now. Because if I marry Trisha, I marry every fiber of her being, okay? And the fiber of her being is him. Because clearly she's still in love with him. She won't get this divorce. But he the only problem, though. She would get the divorce if he was around. Yeah. But he been around for like, but the divorce, but I'm fine and I'm big and she love me and she gonna marry me. Forget him. I'm just like, Ken fighting for my life. Ken is out here fighting for his life, okay? Because Will and Fletch holding him to the fire. They let him know, baby, it's not worth all this effort. It's just not. Fletch straight out asks him, why deal with what you're going through? Because that's what you do. That's the next step. You know, struggle love. Black love is struggle love. Don't y'all know? Don't you got struggling love? Don't you have struggling love? Struggle love is black love. I'm supposed to struggle. His friend like, do you see this as a challenge? Like, is this just something that you have to conquer? Like, what's really popping? And he's like, maybe you gotta put this puzzle in the box. Maybe this puzzle ain't working. You should have been done with this. If it was me, Trisha would have been out of here. She would have been gone. And Ken's like, the puzzle fit. We fit. We the puzzle, we fit. We just got this extra piece. Marquez, and he won't go away. Well, yeah, that's her baby's daddy, so he not going nowhere. He not going nowhere. So then he just be super defensive, y'all. I don't even think nothing else happened in this conversation. And lastly, y'all, we see the Scotts have a double date. Tisha and Marceau with Kimmy and Reese. Cute little double date. Starts off, you know, nice and cozy. They're talking about the kids. MJ and the National Honor Society. Shout out to MJ, looking at colleges. She's like, yeah, he get to update his application for Michigan. And I told him, update all of them. He ain't worried about all of them. He worried about Michigan. So they go through some more pleasantries and they get to the topic about Jalen. And this is where things get interesting, y'all, because now we see Marceau and Maurice talk about it, the two father figures in question. So them also being brothers, of course, adds that layer to it. Like I said, Reese is absolutely jealous. He's absolutely jealous. He feels like he's better than his brother. You can just tell he does. And right as I was saying that in my head, Marceau was like, I know what Jalen going through. I know exactly what he's going through. He's feeling like, you know, Reese Jr. is the golden child. He can do no wrong. You always discipline Jalen. You ain't never doing this to Reese Jr. And that's the same way I felt. You were the golden child, and now he has to cater to Golden Child 2.0. Reese is offended. Reese is offended by this because how dare you call me out, A, on TV, and B, in front of the women? This is strip club, back of the bar. We finna get some head from these bitches, okay? And you this is the, you don't say this in front of people. You say this in the depths of the creps. Okay, so he is offended and appalled. That's a lie. That's not how I go. Yada yada yada. It's just so, y'all. And it was funny when they said it, when Marceau said it, because the women was like, whoo. He was like, because you would have golden child too. Ooh, damn. Like, it gagged them so bad that was Marceau's reaction. I laughed so hard at that one, y'all. It was too funny. And so they just kind of go into their relationships with Jalen and how, yeah, y'all. Okay, I had to rewatch the last scene because I forgot I didn't take no notes. So Reese, they bring up how Jalen came to Marceau for some help about some type of contract and stuff. He was like, well, he didn't come to me for help. He was asking if I knew some contractors. He came to you for help. But you can tell that Marceau is trying to play it down because I don't know for what reason. Because even when we see the little scene where Jalen talked to Marceau, Marceau also acts a little surprised when Jalen says he sees him as a father figure. And I'm guessing maybe because he's not feeling like this towards Reese, not that he's necessarily because he's feeling like that, because it's not, maybe because it's not the both of them. You know, does that make sense? I'm just trying to help. But you can tell that everybody's just like, whoa, dang, Marceau for Maurice. Yeah. Yeah. So they get on to it, and then Marceau then brings up the family business and how he has some concerns about that. And he's like, you got some concerns about the kids? Like the kids don't want to do it? And he's like, yeah, the kids don't want to do it. That's basically Marceau was like, the kids don't want to do it. I said, not both of the boys that came to you. Both of the boys that came to you. And Maurice is in his confessional like, well, I don't know why he's speaking on Jalen because we had a really good conversation and he knows where I stand. Yeah, but you don't know where he's standing because he's not going into business with you. He's already said it multiple times. Like, the fact that Reese is not getting it, it is a level of, I don't know, I don't want to diagnose nobody, but it's giving, what I'm immediately thinking of is you're so narcissistic that you can't even compute that you have a flaw that needs to be fixed, that you did anything to somebody that wasn't warranted or supposed to be done. That's what he is, because he just, why would he not want to go into business with me? I'm a great businessman. That's what Reese is feeling. Meanwhile, everybody's like, he don't want to go into business with you. He don't want to go into business with you. Everybody. I did a tweet on Twitter like, this everybody. The dude is like, it's like, when you do this, when everything's started in Philadelphia, when you do this, when you do that. And then I posted when one of the Mari twins was like, because literally everybody is like trying to make it as plain as possible that you weren't a good father figure to Jalen and these children do not want to go into business with you. But you're so oblivious that you're like, that's wild. We're going to start this family business though, huh? Yeah, he was just being a little stubborn, but I was doing what I had to do. Sometimes you got to parent kids different. It wasn't that I was harder on him. He just needed correction. And I'm wondering if somebody brought up, so your child needs no correction? Please let us know how your thought process goes with this. Please. Please. And Marceau starts to tell him about himself and just kind of laying things out a little more plainly. And Reese is like, but this and the third. And Marceau was like, listen, if you start your statement with but, you're talking to defend yourself and not understand the problem. This is what I'm talking about. If we would have seen Marceau season 1, we wouldn't think that he would have the emotional intelligence to say this. That's how you know he be playing sometimes. He be playing it up for the camera sometimes. He's still a misogynist now. I still think he in them streets, still think he's a misogynist. But he's not half as bad as he leads on. That's how I feel. Because he has the emotional intelligence, okay? He's getting his brother together, whether his brother is dodging the mess out of it. He's letting him know plainly, hey, dude, they don't really mess with you like that. And so at the end, where he does say the comment about, I already mentioned it, but when he does say the, you the golden child and Monster's golden child 2.0, and the lady's like, ooh, hey, He said, where are you getting this from? You sound like Chris Fletcher. You need to tell the truth. You need to tell the truth. My soul like, so these are lies? Yeah, you're lying. Baby, I can't wait to see next week when Jalen sits down with the both of them. When Jalen sits down with the both of them, y'all, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm sad. I'm sad, y'all. So until next time, it's been a long review, huh? I didn't know I was talking this long. I guess I had to start and stop a bit as well. But y'all enjoy the review, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Until next time, bye-bye.